CEO, Steve Ballmer.
Well, thanks. It's a real honor for me to have a chance to be here with you today. I was talking to the guys backstage and I said, is it really true that I've never done a SharePoint conference before? And they say, no, Steve, this is one of the last things that you get to assume the mantle from Bill Gates on. He's done every SharePoint conference. And I have to say, I was just pumped with energy at the thought of doing this conference, because SharePoint, I have to say, these days is one of my favorite products at Microsoft, and it is a pleasure to be with you. Yeah, that's an easy applause line at a SharePoint conference. Dude, it's convenient in that sense. But I really am excited to have a chance to be here with you today, talk a little bit about kind of how we're thinking about the world and where we're going, and hopefully give you a little bit of context that's useful as you start out the week. I will say the SharePoint crowd is an enthusiastic crowd. This is already my 4th event of the morning. You'd say, how's that possible? Well, I started the morning at about 6:15, 5:45 actually. I went out running. And I'm running back to the Mandalay, and these 8 people swoop in on me and they say, are you Steve? You are, aren't you? And I'm really scared at this stage, and I say yes. And they say, we're SharePoint runners. Can we have our picture taken with you? All right, SharePoint runners. I come back, and there's a SharePoint breakfast that I go to. SharePoint starts early. And last but not least, the pièce de résistance. I see people here today. There's friends from my old elementary school in Belgium, because they're a big SharePoint reference. Man, the SharePoint crowd is enthusiastic. So I hope these opening remarks give you a little bit of context, and I'll try to build from that. I normally, for the last year, have had to start almost every speech talking about the economy. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to remind you of one thing and one thing alone, that at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to continue to enable growth and prosperity is advances in productivity and innovation, and the IT industry is going to propel a lot of that. Not only inside IT, but for the things that everybody in this room has a chance to do to help propel the organizations, the businesses in which they are a part. Certainly, as we look forward, the next 5, the next 10 years, the chance to transform the world through technology is as great today as any time, certainly since I've been at Microsoft, which is almost 30 years now. The evolution as we move from a world that's predominantly the PC, staring at the data center or at the internet, to a world in which information is available on the PC, the phone, the big screen, the TV, and we bring together the world of enterprise or data center computing and the world of the internet into so-called cloud computing. That's a major transformation. And it will enable us if we also build the right new user interfaces. Not just mouse and graphics and keyboard, but voice and speech and touch and natural language. If we bring that all together, the opportunities that we have to change the way people live at home, the way they work, the way they collaborate, the information that they get. I was backstage waiting to be introduced, and it turns out that there's somebody with a video feed that's being shot this way that captured the audience from your backs. You might say, why is that interesting? Because from your badge, we can see how many of you have digital screens illuminated. And it turns out, not very many is the answer. Because we still need to evolve technology so that it's even more natural to bring a digital device to a meeting like this, to make notes on the device, to collaborate with colleagues, and in real time say, hey, look, this made sense, this didn't. Boom, that annotation is automatically linked to the video. It's propagated to the SharePoint site where you're posting stuff from this conference. It's just some of the kinds of improvements that we can continue to drive over the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years through information technology.